Hello there and welcome to another Ramble review, and today we are looking at No More Heroes Part 1 for the Nintendo Switch. The basic premise here is our lead, Travis Touchdown, wants to be number one in the UAA, the United Assassins Association, which means he has to go kill a couple of people to reach number one. The reason he wants to be number one is simply to be the best. He wants to be numero uno. And another more important reason is to get in the pants of Sylvia, which is a girl who works for said association. So that's the basic plot, for him to reach number one and to get into this chick's pants. There is no other big plot, reveal, twist, or whatever. That's basically it. It's not terrible. It's basically a paper thin plot, like I said. But what you're really here for is the cast of characters, because they're fucking crazy. You have characters like Dr. Peace, a gunslinging former detective who loves to kill. Basically, everyone here loves to kill. Let's just get that out the way. You have Shinobu, a high school girl who's a samurai, big old afro. You have Destroy Man, who wears a superhero getup and loves to kill. Why did I repeat that again? Who loves to kill, and I repeat it again. And is a cheating scumbag. He has no honor. You also have someone who became a fan favorite in the series, which is Bad Girl, which is a girl in a fully dress, but she's fucking crazy. As you can see from, like, she has gimps who she beats the shit out of, and she wants to beat the shit out of everyone because she just loves it. The dialogue also can be kind of, I guess you could say, cringy or just goofier or just really out there. I don't know where would you put it, but it's things like the character saying, "Oh, I sense the bloodlust to you. Oh, we're getting all bloody and blood this and blood that and fuck you and fucking yeah," and stuff like that. Like if you get what I'm saying with the dialogue, that's what you're getting in this game. But it's amusing with how over the top it goes. And it feels like nothing is being meant to be taken serious in this game either. Don't go into it thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get a serious plot." No, go into it thinking you're going to get a goofy, bloody, over the top plot. I mean, there's times that Travis is getting blown to smithereens and he's perfectly fine. So yeah, it's not meant to be taken, again, serious. But it's still a lot of fucking fun. Travis himself, I guess you could say, kinda develops. Like, some things change in his character. I mean, he's still the guy who wants to fucking kill everybody. But his philosophy kind of changes as he goes along. One thing he does keep is that he loves the honor in battle. Like, he wants to, fight honorably to the death and everything. He's not really into the whole cheating and everything. He likes just going head on and having an honorable fight. That's something about him, and just like I said, it doesn't change too much, but it's not that big of a deal. Before I get into the gameplay specifics of this game, I want to mention that usually when I play my Switch games, I use this controller right here. It's like a wired controller for the Switch. The wire is actually probably fucking really, really long. I actually got it as a gift from a really good friend, and it's basically a GameCube controller. If you don't want to use the Switch Joy-Cons and everything. But you can still use the Joy-Cons for motion controls for this game. And it works pretty well, too, the Joy-Cons for the motion. This was a Wii game first, and it had motion controls. You just swipe and stuff like that. So if you want to play the original way this game was, I guess, meant to play, you can, and it works perfectly fine. But I used this throughout most of my playthrough right here. If you want to know how the box looks, this is it right here. This is exactly the controller. It's actually really fucking cool. Only thing that I guess it lacks is any motion sensor, which whatever, and also no rumble. That's the only two things it lacks. Besides that, it's a fucking excellent controller. And if you're looking just for like a regular controller for the Switch, this one is highly recommended. So yeah, now to the gameplay basics, which is pretty basic. When it comes to combat, it's you lock on, and the characters lock on works perfectly fine, and you press three different buttons to hit your opponent. The first two are the high and low swing. Depending on which one you push, it's different animations. One sometimes is faster than the other, and the opponent tends to guard one more than the other, so it makes you switch back and forth. So you could just easy, it makes it pretty easy. And then the third is punching. Punching is there to stun your opponent because you could do wrestling moves. Wrestling moves you can learn while you play through the game, while you're going through the levels. It gives you a wrestling move, and you also buy tapes to learn brand new wrestling moves. These take actually a pretty good chunk of health. They don't tend to end the lives of the opponent. It's usually just to put them on the ground, and you can then poke them, and then they die. So you can always do that. Also, this is only when you're in a story mission fight, when you slash someone's heads off, because usually after when the death blow is always going to be some directional attack, so it's left or right. It does a cool ass attack that cuts their head off, splits us in two, and so on and so forth. You get this roulette thing, and depending what 3 things you get, it'd be different powers. So one is slow mo, which basically slows everything down. One is Travis becomes basically a god and one hits everything. His sword, another one is his sword just like shoots beams and stuff and kills everything easily. These are fucking rare. Like, at least through my playthrough through the Switch, I probably got maybe like 5 of them to pop up throughout my whole playthrough. They're not necessary. They're just like pretty cool, makes things go a little faster. But yeah, they're like really, at least it was for me, really, really fucking rare to run into these. Some other attacks that are actually pretty helpful in combat is there's 2 charges. One is you hold your sword to the side, which you can let go whenever you want. And another is another charge, but you just hold it overhead, and that lets go once it's at full charge. The to the side charge is the best one, especially when you get the last weapon. It becomes extremely helpful and kind of overpowered. Another move you can do in combat is parry sort of move. All you gotta do is block at a certain right of time, which block happens automatically. So basically, you just gotta lock on a certain time, and you get like a little flash. And once you attack, your sword just swings with a big, powerful attack, which is helpful. It's basically the side charge attack your sword usually does. The only thing, instead of you holding it and waiting to charge, it happens like in a second. And the last thing that's actually the most helpful, that you're going to be using a lot through most of your playtime, is the sidestep, I guess, counter. Basically, as you're getting attacked, you just press the stick left or right at a certain time, and everything slows down, and you just unleash a bunch of slashes, killing a bunch of people at once. Mainly because since you do the slash attack, it kills everyone at one time if enough people are standing near each other. Another thing I forgot to mention about the combat, which actually is also important, I can't even forgot it, is you might notice there's an energy bar to the right hand side, and that drains as you attack and as you get attacked. And once all that power goes away, your beam katana is useless because you got no more light. You just have a metal stick basically. You can still attack, but it does jack shit. What you gotta do is recharge it by just pressing the button and then moving the stick a certain way. And of course, there's being no more heroes, it's a jerk off motion. I don't mind that type of humor, but that's what it is. Some people feel like the energy drain is kind of a nuisance, but I never found it too much of a problem, especially as you go on in the game and get more power ups. Also, when it comes to the combat, as you keep playing the game, you're able to buy brand new beam katanas. You start with your standard one, but then you get 2 more later on, which both feel different. They have different animations, and of course they get stronger every time. So there's the one you buy after the first one is strong, and then the last one be the strongest of them all. So it feels like you're making progress, and the weapons don't feel samey when it comes to the animation and how strong they are and how they feel. Like, for example, the last weapon you get, it has like in between, it has melee attacks it pulls off depending on if you hit with the high attacks. So they do feel different one another, so it won't feel too samey for too long. And even though the combat is simple, it's still very fun and very fucking bloody. Another thing I want to touch on is the open worldness of this game. I guess if you call it open fucking world. Because basically what you're trying to do to proceed to each fight is to earn a lot of fucking money to pay for said fight. So to do that, you gotta do boring ass side jobs, and you also have the choice of doing assassin's gigs, which or it's just what it sounds like. It's just they tell you to go kill these enemies and you go do it. And also there are free fights around the open world map that pop up as you progress through the story, in which these are basically, if you get hit once, you fail and that's it. And those are your options to get money. There are of course some that are super easy that you're able to rank up cash really fast. So once you find those, stick to those. And why I say that is because a lot of these things are boring. A lot of the side jobs, like things are like picking up coconuts, wiping away graffiti, filling up a gas tank, picking up garbage. It's boring. It's monotonous and boring and dull. And the only reason you should do them at least one time is because it unlocks more assassin gigs, which are the better option to get money. I would say the best assassin gigs come like a little late, like midway through the game, like when you start getting the train ones. Those are fantastic for quick and easy cash. But everything else, like riding around the world, is fucking dull. It is not fun at all. It's not fun at all. Like, it is so boring. Again, so monotonous. You wish you could just teleport, and you could in the PS3 version. You're able to teleport to every job you wanted to do like this, but it's not here, sadly. But the thing that is here, that thank God it's here, is the retry option. So basically, if you fail a mission, you could quickly retry it and try again. This is especially helpful for the free fights that are around the map, because again, they're one hit, so anything hits you, you fail. In the Wii version, if you failed it, it disappeared and you had to wait till it popped up again. If you failed a job, you will have to go all the way back to the office to get the job again, to go all the way. It was a lot of fucking stupid design choices. But in here, they fixed it, that you can just retry and that's it. No big problem, no big whoop. While you're roaming around the open, again, semi-open world, you can find garbage cans which have brand new t-shirts or more money. I like a lot of the t-shirts in this game. Some of them you have to get from the garbage can, but there's also a store called Area 51 that you can get brand new jacket, shirt, pants, glasses, and they all appear in every cutscene. So it's not like you're just getting them for like your basic combat. No, they will show up in the cutscene, which is cool because it allows you to customize Travis. Another thing you find are laying around later on as you get upgrades, because another thing in the open world you can get is, like I mentioned before, you get brand new beam katanas. This usually happens when you reach a certain point in the story, and you go to, her name is, I believe, Naomi, and she will give you upgrades for your sword to make them stronger. Also, one of the things that she gives you is you can find like little pink dots around the map, which contains free money. And eventually there's a point where you're able to get balls. They're called, I can't top of my head because it's like Russian. It's like Lolokov's balls or something like that. They appear on the map orange, so thankfully it's not a pain in the ass to find them when they finally pop up. What this does is let you go to a bar, which this guy gives you new abilities if you give him 7 balls. I believe I think it's like 5 or 6 abilities you get altogether. I would recommend the first ability you get, I'm probably going to show footage of this, is the one that allows you to run without your bike, because trust me, it will come in handy because Travis is fucking slow as hell. So this one lets you just speed run everywhere. So it's even almost as fast as your fucking bike, which sometimes you don't want to hop on because the animation takes a while, and then driving around, and then it's a chance you could crash, and then that's another animation you gotta wait for. So just get that one first, and all the other ones you just get whenever you freaking feel like it. There's another building that's around, that's the Thunder Ryu's gym. This helps you increase your combos for your katanas, your overall health, and of course your overall strength. This is all done in 3 mini games. One is just lifting like this, which is pressing A real fast, and the other uses the sticks, which is squatting and lifting some dumbbells. I found the mini games to be pretty simple and easy. I didn't have a problem, though I did hear some people have a problem with the press A real fast mini game. But again, that's them. To me, it Didn't seem like that big of a deal. When it comes to the ranking fights themselves, they're each like level and fight takes a combined maybe like 15-20 minutes to get through. And while the first one seems kind of, boring because he's just running, not boring, but standard, is because he's just running down guards and stuff like that. They do change as you go along. You still run through a bunch of enemies, but they try to spice things up. Like Dr. Peace, there's some sections where, since you're in a baseball stadium, they throw a ball at you and you gotta do a little meeting game where you time it just right and you can hit it and you could kill some enemies, save yourself some time. Or when you're in the school with Shinobu, there's a section where the sprinklers come down and you're getting shot because you got an electronic beam katana and you can't do nothing. You got to try to turn off the sprinkler system. Or in the bad girl section where you have to run over people with your car for a while. They try to spice it up, so I give them that. So it's not just kill all these guys, nothing's different. They try to keep it fresh, and for the most part, I think it works. And these are the best parts of the game. It's the levels, and then you get to the bosses themselves, which are fun to fight as well. Again, you just learn the patterns and you hit them, but the spectacle of the fight itself is very entertaining, and so are the bosses. Of course, Travis got his own little pad in the motel, and you could do some things here, like you could change all your clothes that you've bought. You can always change there. You can interact with your kitty cat, which is this cute cat. It's not much. It's just literally just you pet your cat. It's just a cute little thing. You can save here in the toilet. You can see your videotapes. One of the things that a lot of people are sad about this is Heavenly Star, which is a song that was in the original Wii version of the game, which is actually a really catchy tune. I suggest you look it up. It's actually really good. It's not here, and of course it's not here. It wasn't in the PSA version as well, I believe. And that's mainly because licensing. Licensing's a bitch, and you can't, when it comes to music by actual artists, it's kind of hard to get that back for re-releases. There's also cards you can pick up while you play through some of the ranking fights. They do nothing special. The most they do is you could just a picture and a little description of like a masked wrestler, and I believe it starts adding mask in your house. So it's just like a nice little visual treat, but the cards otherwise are just completely pointless. Hell, the only reason I collected the majority of all of them on the PS3 was just for the trophy. Here I collected what I could, but I collected a decent amount. Graphically, I think this game looks fucking amazing. First of all, finally No More Heroes 1 runs really smooth. For the original Wii and even the PSA version, it was pretty kind of framey. Here it's 60 frames per second and it runs smooth as butter. It has the same graphical style on the Wii version. The PS3 version had a little different graphical style. Like it had like a more realistic look. It wasn't ugly. It was more of a preference thing, which one you liked or anything. But yeah, this looks fantastic. In the Wii version, my God, when you were in the semi-open world riding a bike, it was fucking framey crazy. Here, you can sense a little bit frame drops, but it's nowhere near like the original Wii version. It's way smoother. All the character designs are fucking fantastic. They all stand out. Everyone's memorable in some way, be it an attack or just what they're wearing or what they're saying. It's all very memorable. Everything is. The voice acting is well done as well. It's all English. There's no, I don't think you can switch to Japanese voiceover. They only had Japanese voiceovers for when the PS3 version came out for Japan. Here, it's just strictly English, but the dub is fantastic. Everyone is just like the actual game characters themselves. The voices are full of personality. I love the blood effects, how everything just squirts when everyone just blows up in a cloud of fucking blood. The coins pop up everywhere. The beam katanas look awesome. Like this game, most of Suda 51's game is a visual treat. Is a visual treat. So you won't be disappointed in that regard at all. What you might be thinking is, oh, which versions are better? Because again, this is the third time this game was released. This is the Switch version, but there was a PS3 and a Wii version. Before this version came out, I would say the PS3 version was the best version. I know there's a subset group of Suda 51 fans and No More Heroes fans who thinks that's blasphemous, because apparently No More Heroes Part 1 is perfect and nothing's wrong with it, which is a bunch of bullshit. Again, like I said, the semi-open world is boring as fuck. The jobs are boring as fuck. It's not fun. Basically, you're working to get to the good part of the game. It's basically a gate to keep you away. And the PS3 version kind of added a lot, quality of life improvements. One of them is the retry option, as I mentioned, which was in the PS3 version that thank God they put in the fucking Switch version. They had a teleport option to go to your job. They didn't put that to the Switch version, but it's not that big of a deal that it's a game breaker. Also, one thing that people put against the PS3 version is, they cut off half the map from the Wii version and you couldn't go there no more on the PS3 version, which, who gives a fuck? Seriously, who cares? The map in the Santa Destroy is boring to ride around. There's nothing eye-catching about it, really. So if they cut off one, it's basically like complaining, oh no, they cut out this piece of dirt here from the Wii version. You're not losing anything. None of the content is lost either, because all they did was take that part from the costumes and the balls and stuff like that was in that part of the map in the Wii version. They just moved it for the PS3 version. So yeah, nothing was really lost that was important. It was just more boring paint to look at. So like I said, I feel that the PS3 version was the superior version compared to the Wii one. The only thing you really have to think about, I guess, preference wise, is the graphics. Which look they better, which is nothing factual about that. It's just your preference, which you like better. But now that the Switch version came out, it runs better, and it has the retry option, which again was the big key. It is now the definitive version. So if you want to play No More Heroes 1, I suggest you play this version, the Switch version. It runs and plays better than the past two versions. The only reason to play the PS3 version is if you want to look at the different graphical style and see how that looks throughout the game. And if you want to, see, there's like when you beat the game, I think you get a skimpy costume version of the game. So now the girls have like skimpier outfits. So there's that too. So that's the only reason really to try out the PS3 version. The only reason to look at the Wii version is for the Heavenly Star song, which you can do on YouTube. So just do that. Do not bother with the Wii version. The Switch version is the version you should be playing. Definitely, you have to pick just one. But if you have to play another one, play the PS3 version. The game took me about like maybe 14 hours to complete, and that was me. I was actually going around collecting shit. Like, I collected all the Russian balls. I tried to get all the masks. I did some grinding because I played this game portable while going to work and everything. That I forgot to mention too. If you want to play this game a lot portable, it runs great. Like, it runs and looks fantastic in the portable setting too. No real big slowdown, nothing. So if you're mainly playing this on the handheld form, don't worry, you're still getting a fantastic experience. It's just, of course, playing it docked is a much better visual and performance experience compared to playing it on the handheld. But yeah, that's about how long it took me to beat this entire game. I loved it. I'm a big Suda 51 fan. I'm such a fan that I could also point out criticisms against some of his games, which some people can't do apparently. Because again, No More Heroes 1 for the Wii was not perfect. The PS3 version added some good quality of life improvements, and thankfully the Switch version took at least one of those quality of life improvements, which was the retry option. So so I'm not biased or anything like that just because he's like maybe my favorite developer. Hell, I named my dog Suda, for God's sakes. But yeah, this is a game that if you want something that's over the top, that's bloody, that's kind of goofy, like, this is it. And also, it's simple. The gameplay, again, it's very simple. Nothing too like super complicated. Again, you just lock on and you attack. It's not like Ninja Gaiden or anything like that. It's a very simple hack and slash, but I've never understood people who think simple equals bad. Something can be simple and very fun, and that's an encapsulation of this game. It's simple, but it's fucking fun and full of personality. Like, I just love it. I can't recommend it enough. I am in the process of playing part 2, which all I can say right now is it is pretty different, but not in a bad way. But so far it feels really different. One last thing I gotta mention too is that there's, I guess, a new game plus that you want to play on, because you unlock a harder difficulty, and you can actually bring over your most powerful sword. So if you want to, like, that's all it is for replayability. When it comes to replay value, it's just beating a high difficulty, and you can bring over all your upgrades if you want to, and then if you want to collect stuff too that I told you, like the cards and the balls and the little pink dots you could do that gives you money, like that's about it. There's not much in replay value, but it's still worth your fucking time. So I hope you didn't mind my ramble for this awesome game. Go play it, and for gamer's sake, keep gaming.